How did you start your project Trolley Pullers? Like, how did you get in contact with the people, and what was your role in the group also? Because you spent quite some time with them and also stayed with them for several months, right?
How I started the project. Well, I used to be a portraiture photographer and doing street documentary. Long time ago, at a place called Newtown Mall Junction. Before they built it, there was a place called Couch and Coffee. Next to Couch and Coffee, when you jump the robot, there's a restaurant there. Before there was a restaurant, there was homeless people who were living there. Every time when I pass, I will ask them for a photo, take them a photo, and then come back, submit the photo, and then I didn't make a follow-up on photographing them. Up until then, they told me, come and take us pictures. Started photographing them without thinking what was I doing.
So what was interesting for you to, like, why did you approach them, or what was your idea about their lives?
My ideas in photographing them, I was interested in a small black trolley that they were using. Me, I was following this trolley, and then this trolley introduced me straight to these spaces, these private spaces. And then I started doing the project. When I was doing the project, what I witnessed was that it's different people, and they're occupying a space, and a space which I could say it's an outskirt space in the city. Me as a photographer, what I did is to spend time with them without having a clear direction of what was the story was I working on by that time. I was interested in documenting now and then, because what I used to do was photographing the city, but when I'm tired, I would go and visit them, take pictures. It was then I started noticing that
there is something.
There is a story here.
So why do you think the people let you into their space?
I sold my trust to them. I made it sure that I don't disappoint them. I do by all means to put my trust in them, and then they put their trust in me. First, it all started by portrait photographs that I was taking them. They would ask me, would you bring my photo? Are you sure? And I would say, I will bring your photo. When I come back bringing those photos, I will relax, sit around the fire, or bask in the sun with them, watch them doing whatever they're doing. I wasn't shutter happy in taking pictures. Just spend time, probably 2-3 hours without taking pictures. As I'm going in and out visiting them, they start noticing me that, okay, there's a man with a camera. Some were not friendly at first. Some were very furious at me. Some didn't want me even closer to them.
What were they afraid of, you think? Or what did they not like?
Later, some stage, I discovered that they've got their own personal stories where they come from. Some they ran away for whatever criminal activities that they were doing, more especially those who are local, from here in South Africa. The one from the outside countries, they were very fair to say to me, we have papers, we hide our papers underneath the rocks somewhere. If it's raining or there's election or we want to do something or the police, we produce these papers. They were very fair to me to tell me that. But I think others, they had their own personal stories. They related that stories after some time, long time ago, that, you know why I don't want you to take me a picture? I've got children, I've got family, I don't want to appear somewhere, I don't want to appear somewhere. Then I will notice that I will buy that story. But as I'm sitting there, operating there all the time, they were very kind to me up until they said to me, okay, you can take pictures, do whatever that you want to do. Even for me now, everything started to be easy because how they approach me. I even spent time where I wanted to go to them in the northern suburbs, and then they tell me that you can come and sleep. When I was sleeping with them, they were sharing stories. Sometimes I would reduce pen and the paper, write notes, write their names. Up until they gained trust, they were open to me to take them pictures.
And what do you think were sort of their motivation to trust you or to let you tell their stories? Or did everything just sort of happen? Because at first you approached them without knowing that there will be something that you want to tell, right?
Yes.
So how did that transition look like? Or?
It automatically happened. There was no plan at all. I didn't wake up in the morning or write a brief that I want to do a story. There was nothing like that. Ever since I started using a camera, some of the stories, they come when I take photos randomly and I visit people and I look at the environment and then I come back. But most of the stories that I do, they start from the photographs that I take. Once I'm at the lab, I print those photographs. I spend time, I look at the photographs. And then it's when I'm going to have ideas, or when I go in and out at that space or that public space. So when I start to say, here there's a story, I can do something. And then that story will grow as I go in and out.
So maybe you can tell me a bit more about how you see your role as a photographer.
In documenting these stories. My role as a photographer is to go deeper with stories to an extent that I push myself to the edge. I'm not time limited. I don't have deadlines to submit. I'm not in a rush to publish. The only thing that I do is spending time as much as I can. And then again, with stories that I do stories that even the mainstream media cannot easily reach, or someone who's carrying a camera will have a tough time to do that story. So I spend time to make sure that I share these stories that I do with the same people that I photograph, and try by all means to fit to his shoes, how he lives at that space, or as I'm photographing that person.
But isn't like a photo always framed in a way? Because you decide sort of in what light you present something, right? So
Yes.
you have the power to create an image in a way.
Yes. The way I frame, the way I produce my work, I make it sure that I can lead the viewer. The composition of how am I going to describe the place. It will tell you where is this place, but I will make sure that there's a decisive moment. I work more especially with moment. I'm coming from a background of street photography, where I look at small things. Even if it's a simple image or it's a simple action, but I will look at for something that is very interesting in that picture. So if I'm doing a forest story, it becomes very, very easy to do it. Everything is there for me. There's nothing I'm going to change. There's nothing that I'm going to try to photograph it in a vice versa way. Once I'm there, I'm there. All the pictures must tell what's going on. Where's the place? I don't have to hide anything. I'm trying to be very, very open and honest with the images that I take when doing photo stories.
And then also related to that, coming back to the Trolley Pullers, how did you communicate that you will also publish some of the material?
You know, when I work on the story, there were those who would say to me, do the story. Make sure the story don't appear in Zimbabwe. But as we were discussing, some would say, no. We can't allow Madoda to photograph us and then we build bridges or walls and tell him how to photograph us. But one day when we're happy, we ask him to take us pictures randomly and he take those pictures. So let him do his own thing and photograph the way he will photograph. But Madoda, if the images will be used, can you make sure that you lose them after some time? Not now, because now we are here, we are struggling.
And so how do you feel about publishing material that is also very personal and close to you, and people you have become friends with?
For me, it's a loss. At the same time, it's an opportunity. I feel like I'm losing my baby here. I feel like something that I've worked for years. How it must go out there, people must see it, even the spaces. They are no longer there. They are all dead spaces, new buildings, even the people that are in the photographs. In the process of making the story, they passed away when I was there. I have images of these people that they would say passed away. It would strike me so bad because when I get home, I will check the archive. I could see that person come back, even them, they will ask me, bring the picture. So today, there's nothing I can do. The work must be out there.
So why do you want to put it out there? What do you want to say with it?
So much has happened in Joburg. Joburg has changed and it's slowly changing. I've documented Joburg for a very long time. I have the material and I feel that it's time now. Because if I don't use the material, the story will be lost. It was time that allowed me to photograph the guys. Now it's another time I'm sitting here at ACMS. When they allowed me to enter in their lives, they told me things that I was not even sure of, things that I was not aware that they exist. These were not homeless people who just crashed at an open space and then work on a recycled material. When they get paid, they get drunk, or they do all sorts of bad things in town. These are responsible people, people who've got families, people who write letters, people who are concerned with their lives in Johannesburg, people who are futuristic with their lives. I want people to discover their life. How are they living away from pulling the trolley? Because most of the time, people, they see them on the street pulling the trolley. They don't know where they end up.
Yeah.
Who are they? They see them in a scrapyard metal, taking recycled material. They are not sure who are these people. They see them in the car windows. They see them in a taxi. They see them on TV. But they're not exactly sure who are they. So with the story that I've been doing, I want them to go deeper with me as I was doing the story. Understand these people, understand the meaning of the space to them, understand the meaning of leaving their home and coming here in Joburg. Why did they come to Joburg? What was their purpose here in Johannesburg? Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.